boys and girls, people of all ages. Welcome back to the next edition of the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast, the boldest podcast in all of podcasting. I might say myself, deadly accurate most of the time. This is Mr. KC from the A13. I'm that dude with the beard. We here again. We in the thick of it. Preseason's getting started. We're seeing one game. We're getting ready to see some more action coming up. Mr. KC, what's on your mind? Talk to me, brother.
We have Kansas City Chiefs football coming up. We have everybody playing football. Everybody. Let's all get excited. It's preseason, which means absolutely nothing for
Nothing.
95% of the league. I tell you what, you get to see them boys who don't get to play come out and try to play. And it always brings a
Mhm.
little excitement to me.
It sure does. We have a tendency to lose pretty much every preseason game as tradition, but hey, we got to try out to see who's going to make it to the championship run. Because clearly, the Arrowhead Invitational is in full effect. We're getting ready for the sixth annual, I believe, coming up. Time flies,
Mhm.
so
Fast.
we got to get ready for this gala pretty soon. It's good to see action, just of any kind, really, NFL action. So grateful, humble. We happy to be back here, and we happy to get. Well, I'm gonna call a preseason win. Let's just get one. It's been a long time. We just get one preseason win. We'll see what happens. Anyway, Mr. Casey, what we got going on today? What's the tale of the tape?
Well, today we are going to break off. We've done our season predictions for all 32 teams. So it's only right if we break down what's going to happen in the playoffs. You're here for your predictions, and we're here to give them to you. So instead of doing some boring preseason football talk that means absolutely nothing to you, me, or the next guy, we're going to just dive into the playoffs and see what we can predict to be the future.
Nothing wrong with that. We going bold or we going home, and more than likely, not so humble moment. We're gonna hit on probably 90% of these. We're gonna see though.
Yeah,
Excuse me, ladies
I
and
believe
gentlemen.
if you look at last year's tape, it's really uh, a pretty strong hit rate. There was only a couple teams that we did not get into the playoffs. For me, it was the Panthers and the Cardinals, which are two garbage teams to be predicting. But you get hyped in these open NFC competitions.
You sure do, and the way the things can swing in that division, especially in the East, I would say, it's going to be exciting. We're going to see who walks away with that one, and yeah, man, we got playoff predictions because I feel in my gut. Got to go back to the oldest saying. I feel it in my gut for a couple of these teams. So we're gonna talk about it, Mr. KC. Where are we gonna start at? Guide us through there.
Well, I think we'll just. I think the easiest way to do this is just base it off last year's kind of playoff predictions and see, or not predictions, but last year's playoff picture, and we'll kind of just see who we think's going to go where and what's going to be different this year.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We could do that because I got a couple ideas in my mind. A couple of teams who are gonna make it that people don't think are gonna make it. Especially hearing some recent rumblings with certain teams. It's going to be an interesting season. I mean, it's all going to lead to the inevitable repeat of the Kansas City Chiefs. Call me biased if you want, but let's just talk about it.
Yeah, let's break this down. Let's take a look at it. We'll have. I don't think the playoffs are going to be just outrageously different either. So I think this is going to be a uh, nice way to look at it.
Well, yeah, because I'm indifferent about some of these teams that are sitting there. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So for on the AFC side, we see that it is the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Chargers. So, what are the teams on the AFC side do you think are not going to make it back to the playoffs?
Out of all these teams in the AFC,
Hmm.
let me see here. Uh, not gonna make it out of the people on the picture. Um, well, I can Buffalo for sure. Miami's one. Um, the Bengals are a kind of fringe team to me because they may very well could be a wild card team, but inevitably they're not going to win that division. Baltimore either, but they're intriguing as a wild card kind of team. The Chiefs are definitely going, and definitely the Jags. I don't see the Chargers there either.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are in a deep, deep question if it's going to be them. And I really have questions on the Bills. I think the Bills are still going to make it in, but they'll probably be one of those wild card seeds. I really see the Dolphins winning the East, and then I think I might actually. Uh, it is a tough one. The Chargers are risky too. I could see the Jets sliding into the Chargers spot as well.
Ooh, the Dolphins winning the East. Now you want to talk about bold, man?
Hey,
That's just something that's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. They're not even going to be close to winning the East. Like it's not even a chance. Yeah, yeah. So how do you want to break these down? Are we going to seed these teams, Mister Casey? How do you want
yeah,
to do this?
I
I
think we
guess.
should see them. I believe we'll both be in agreement. The Chiefs will have the number one seed, right?
Yeah, they'll be the number one seed for
And I
sure.
believe for number two, you're gonna have the Jaguars.
Well, I'm looking at there because I got to go off the ratio. I got to see here. Yes, it will be the Jags because they'll be 13-4.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna actually go with you there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags end up as the number two seed. I don't think they're the second best team in the AFC, but with a much easier schedule with the AFC South and the AFC North, I really do like the Jags at two, and then I'm gonna slide the Bengals in at three.
Slide the Bengals in at three. Yeah, I don't have the Bengals there at all, so that makes it easier for me. I have the
Right?
Steelers at three. They'll be the third seed.
Oh, bold. Oh, he's calling his shot now, folks.
They're
You
gonna
heard
win
it
the
here
North.
first. I mean,
They're gonna win the North.
I don't see it, but Mike Tomlin has always had at least a winning season, so I cannot doubt his ability to at least be 500. He's definitely shown he could win the North. It's not the most impossible thing,
Hmm.
but it just seems bold to me.
Yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm
Right.
gonna lock them. Let me lock them in. Let me add that to my go up to my list here. Get out of my old list.
So that
Put that
means number four for you is going to be the old
the
New
one and
England
only.
Patriots.
Exactly. The fourth seed. The winners of the AFC East.
Yeah, and folks, I have the Dolphins at the fourth seed, so we are definitely torn apart on this AFC East. It was the biggest split, I believe, of any division in football. Was that AFC episode? It was an entertaining one for sure.
Oh yeah, because we're like I said, we're definitely indifferent on the East here. They're like I said, they're going to be just as bad as the Bills. So
Mm.
I got like I said, I got them and the Bills both going 5-12. So
I
I
know you
didn't
did.
arrive to that because it was planned. It just from my test.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. And I see the Bills having a slightly better year than that. But I don't think they win the East, and I think it is questionable if they make the playoffs. What a lot of people don't realize is when a coach and quarterback combination has been together for 5 years and not made the Super Bowl, they never make the Super Bowl. This is their last chance in Buffalo, and I don't see it happening.
I can agree with that. I just never seen it happen because I'm just indifferent. These some of these things you need to have literally a generational talent come into certain teams to be able to change that franchise. These teams are historically bad. So I will never give the Bills the respect that you do because historically they're bad. There's nothing that they've done recently to make me change my mind. The only team that's risen from mediocrity after we done it in Kansas City is the Bengals because Joe Burrow is a generational esque type talent.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's plain and simple. Like I said, I'm not a Josh Allen hater. I liked Philip Rivers a little bit, but like I said, there's nothing spectacular. There's no wow factor with Josh Allen. I just hate that the media gives him so much respect. They gave him the Madden cover for what? For nothing.
Right. Yeah, to me, he reminds me a lot of a like a more mobile Ben Roethlisberger without any of the success.
I'm about to say, 'cause Big Ben, that young Big Ben,
Yeah, yeah,
dude,
young.
hate to see
He
him
balled,
coming, man.
right? He got his ring. He made
Right.
sure that happened, and I don't
So
see it happening
yeah,
for Allen.
I
He's a
don't either. Like I
mobile
said, I
Philip
don't.
Rivers.
Thank
That's
you.
a good. Yeah, I think
And
that's a
that's
good,
it.
probably a closer comparison.
Yeah, because dude, like Josh, his stock just keeps falling in my opinion, dude. Like I said, I'm already to the point where honestly, if I had to, I would take Daniel Jones before I would take Josh Allen. But you know me, I'm a believer in Vanilla Vic.
Yeah, I want to go that far. I'm not high on Josh
Not
Allen.
yet.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. But I also Daniel Jones has never had a Stephon Diggs. So how do we really, you know, discredit
And you
Jones
see what they
either?
do. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because Allen was looking awfully bustish until they got him a real solid wide receiver. Stephon
Hmm.
Diggs did a lot for Josh Allen's career.
Because Josh Allen wasn't getting them to the playoffs. Daniel Jones got them to the offs and a
Yeah,
win in there, deep into the playoffs,
and that's one of the things that
with no considerable wide receiver talent.
yeah, and that's one of the things that absolutely drives me nuts about the Mahomes versus Allen comparison is people will say, well, Mahomes walked into a playoff team, and they completely ignore that Buffalo Bills were a playoff team with Tyrod Taylor. Like this is not he got the same benefit,
Same
but
deal.
yeah,
Same
but
deal almost.
almost. What he didn't have
Right.
was Andy Reid. You know,
Right.
let's be honest here.
Right.
I mean,
Which is really the biggest disparity besides quarterback play. It's the coaching differential, dude. Andy
mhm,
Reid has proven himself to move into the fast lane and put it on cruise control at about 110. Because there he done passed everybody else, and everybody else can just hope to be behind him. His coaching tree is slowly drifting into the lane, getting them a few chips, getting them some playoff appearances. You see what I'm saying? Like we're
right.
seeing the effects. So, what's the boy named Sean McDermott, Buffalo? Like I said, I told you last year it's time to blow it up. Good night. It's time to set the dynamite and blow it up.
Yeah, and I didn't really see any off-season moves that made me suggest they shouldn't blow it up. So it'll be interesting to see
Man,
what ends up happening with Buffalo.
because
What
what's the most exciting thing? You got an old Von Miller coming back.
mm,
Please.
right. Yeah, get me real excited for that one. Oh
Ooh,
no.
shiver me timbers. It's
I
a
mean
Von Miller.
he's good when he's healthy, but he's getting less healthy and less young. It's a terrible combination.
That's what I'm saying. Good night. On to more
So
pressing business.
Right. We need to pick our wild card spots. Who are you taking for that number 5 and 6 seed?
Well, for the fifth seed in the AFC, this one's the toughest one because I feel like it's going to come out the North, and I feel like it could either be the Ravens or the Bengals. It's not going to be both. One of these teams are going to have to miss out unless one division is just so terrible, like beyond measure, maybe the South, where you might be able to sneak a third team in from that same division. So as of now, I'm gonna go. Honestly, I'm going with my gut, and I'm going with Baltimore. I think Cincinnati's taking a step back as far as on defense. I think Baltimore is going to be a better team. If all pending health here, because
Right.
like I said, I like dudes who've done things, and you know how high I am on Lamar. You manage MVP. If we're talking about the quarterback matchup, I don't think there's a gap disparity between Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. I just don't. I don't. Especially the only thing you could talk about is throwing the ball, really. But as far as complete play style, dude, Lamar Jackson is a game breaker. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got that kind of effect that just Joe Burrow don't got. You don't think Joe Burrow can win your game, but you're like, dude, Lamar Jackson can break this game like wide open. Like, dude, you could be down 45 real quick. We, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely. And I believe another YouTuber named Teacher Talking Sports would also agree with you. He is super high on Lamar Jackson this year too, and I'm right there with the both of you. To be honest
My
with you, I
man
think the
Teach.
both of you are spot on. Lamar Jackson is a highly underrated quarterback in this league. Look on this list of AFC teams. The only one we're talking MVP about is Mahomes and
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. That's the only two
Yeah.
people on the list
Only
that have
two.
accomplished that.
Exactly.
But
That's what
people
I'm
want to
saying. Like,
discredit them. I'm
yeah.
also going to slide the Ravens into a wild card spot. So I'll have the Bengals and the Ravens out of the AFC North.
And see, I was almost right there with you. Like, dude, that's so tough to where both of them could get in. If somehow they don't work that out, it's because the Jets found a way to get in.
Yeah, and that's going to be my number 6 team is going to be that New York Jets team. I think
Yeah.
they sneak it in with the Dolphins too.
So yeah, no, I got the so at number 5 I got the Ravens. Number 6 I got the Jets. My seventh team here, and honestly, it might not be too far fetched, but it kind of could be. Do I want to say this out loud? I mean, because it could work out. I think we could get another one out the south. We could get a
Oh
sleeper
my
because
god.
I don't think anybody in the West is ready. I
Well,
don't. Not the Chargers, not the Vegas, not Garoppolo up and them, and dang sure ain't the Broncos. But to shock the world, dude, I think it could be the Texans, man. I'm just gonna say it. It could be the Houston Texans because I got them going 10-7, and that might be enough to sneak into that last spot.
well,
It might be enough.
all I'm going to say is don't tweet that one to Nick Wright, or else we'll see that one too. Um, I, th- I think at number 7, I'm actually gonna go the Chargers. I think the last guy probably comes out of the West. They get a couple easy opponents twice a year with the Raiders and the Broncos. And Herbert's a legitimate quarterback, so I'm gonna let him sneak into the playoffs.
Like I said, most of those wins though I gave them, like I said, are pinned Jimmy G, man. I think Jimmy G can beat the Chargers and Broncos
I
with
mean,
healthy.
I don't, I just
With
don't see
Devontae?
it. No,
Ooh.
no. With Mike McDaniel's as your coach, easy pass. It's just
Also true. These are facts. But
it's just
we
the coaching for the Raiders is just so terrible that
atrocious.
I'm not going with it. I'm not doing it.
I understand. I totally get it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the AFC side, it seems here. So
Well, let's go ahead
we're
and
in
bring it all the
agreement.
way let's bring it all the way to the AFC Championship game. I think it's pretty predictable. We're both going to go Chiefs to Super Bowl, I would imagine.
Oh well, for sure.
All right, all
Well,
right. So
that's the easy route.
I guess the
Uh,
only real question is who are they going to end up facing in the AFC Championship game?
and honestly, if the seeds fall where they may, we might end up with a few divisional games. I think that well, you know what? We would play. Ooh, that's a tough one. You know what, dude? It could very well be the Pittsburgh Steelers. It
Ooh,
could very
Steelers
well be the
versus the
Pittsburgh
Chiefs.
Steelers
I like that one. And
in
I'm
a
actually,
thriller.
I've got a kind of wild one too. I think we're going to end up seeing Kansas City versus the Jets in the AFC Championship game.
We get two Aaron Patrick Mahomes games
Two
this
of them.
year.
Two of them.
Ooh, well,
And he goes 2 and
mm.
0.
Oh yeah, Pat goes 2-0 for sure. I just I got to see how that Jets line hold up, but dude, I really think these Steelers are gonna they're gonna steal the North. It's gonna be nasty. I can't wait to see it. And everybody knows I'm not a Steeler fan. I just call it how I see it, man. These dudes are looking good. Other teams have gotten bad. They have gotten better through the draft and everything. They're looking good. Healthy TJ Watt, dude. They're gonna be a reckoning in the North.
Well, I mean, I think either way, that is a pretty bold prediction by either one of us. And I would say we got to be one of the few people calling either the Steelers or the Jets for the AFC Championship game.
Dude, because I don't even have the Bengals making the playoffs. So there
I
you go
think they
with
make the
that.
playoffs. I feel like something's going to happen where it just won't. It's not a full squad and it's
Look,
not
if you
working
can
out.
get three AFC North teams in the playoffs, I will take it. I'll take it. But I just don't think so. I just somehow there's gonna be it's gonna be the Texans. They're sneaking in. I'm putting the stamp on it.
Yeah,
They're gonna sneak in.
I just have trouble with the Bengals and the Bills not making the playoffs. I think it's
I
just
don't know why. I don't know why.
it just seems like a stretch to me.
Like I said, the Bengals are taking a step back. We got to see how Joe Burrow look at the beginning of the season. I'm considering all of that. And
Right.
like I said, the Bengals are gonna bingle most of these games. Even if Joe
Yeah.
Burrow's there, that's just what they do. So they can be a good
Mhm.
team in the North, but I can see them not making the playoffs. And the Bills, it writes itself. This Philip Rivers, Stephon Diggs saga is about to come to an end. Stephon, all he do is look at Patrick Mahomes like, I wish I was with you. I wish I was down in Sherman catching them passes during the offseason or wherever they be in Texas. Every time they lose, all he do is stare at up at Arrowhead. All he do is look at the stand and the crowds and see all the
Mm,
love and admiration. That's as close as he ever got to feel like he was a winner.
mm,
Besides when he was with Kirk Cousins, you left Kirk Cousins for Philip Rivers. I know you're mad about it. I know you're
right.
mad about it. I would
All
be
right.
upset.
It's I'd be a little disappointed myself. Yeah, I think yeah, I feel real comfortable with the Bengals making it. I would predict a first round exit though. Like I think it's gonna be an early exit. They're out of the competition early. But I just think they still make the playoffs.
And you got Orlando Brown playing left tackle.
I
So
mean,
we'll
it
see
is a
we'll see
liability.
Joe Burrow's health by then anyway. Because
Absolutely.
if to see what Pat went through, that's what I'm saying. That people were talking, oh, well, he was one of your guys. No, you can go back to the history of the tape. I never liked the Orlando Brown deal. I've been on
Mm.
record saying it. They gave up too much for nothing for a dude who like I said they gave up so much for a dude who they're not even gonna keep. And what exactly happened?
It's
We got a
exactly.
bowl out of him, and he's out the door. Like I said, he's got the complex of I want to be the highest paid dude. Are you kidding me? Stop playing, man.
Right.
The Super Bowl, and all these other performances that they think you look good in, you can go to tell and hey, Pacheco's chipping blocks on your side, McKinnon's chipping blocks on your side, everybody. Or Pat is running from your side. You don't even ever see Pat scramble out left. It's always to the right or up the middle because you know that left side's gone.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's crazy to think about. Let's hop on over to the NFC. Let's see who these Kansas City Chiefs shall be facing for their back-to-back Super Bowl run. Now, I think the obvious loser in this group has to be the Buccaneers, right? Like we
Oh
know
yeah.
we got to slide them out,
Good
and I
night.
and to be honest with you, think the I
That's
think
almost about it. Good
that
night.
is almost about it. Oh man, I don't know.
Well, no, let's talk about it. No, because that can't be it. Because for one, let's talk about it. So, who do you think is going to be the number one seed coming back out of the NFC?
I would go 49ers.
See, you're going with the 49ers being the number one seed.
Yeah,
I don't have to miss the number one seed.
I believe if I went back to look at my schedule predictions, I believe that would put me at the Niners on the number one seed. Eagles are going to be the second seed. Let's go. I wanted to kick them out. No, I'm not doing it. Lion. I'm kicking the Vikings out too. Let's go Lions, the fourth seed, or yeah, it'll be
You
the third
sound like
seed.
you sound like one of them dudes. You do. I'm gonna tell you again, man. You got to stop the infatuation with these historically bad teams. Watch out for the Lions. Watch
Yeah.
out for the Lions. I come anyway. Right.
Yeah,
You
because I
can keep
really.
doing it if you want to, but
Uh,
you're wasting your time, and that's all I'm telling you, Mister KC. But yeah, you got the Lions in at the third seed. Then that's what you were saying. The
yeah,
Detroit Lions.
yeah, and
Okay.
then we're gonna put the Saints
You're
in.
writing this down, aren't you?
No, I'm not writing that down. Uh, people are gonna have to go back and check the tape if they want that information. The video will always be posted, so if people
Ooh.
want to check it and comment, they can. But if I were to write the Lions instead of the Vikings, it would definitely be in pencil.
Man, oh man. I got you. I
But
understand.
I'm gonna use a sharpie and say the Saints at number 4 instead of the Buccaneers.
And see, I feel you. Number one on my end, I got the Minnesota Vikings actually finishing number one in the NFC. At number two, I got the New York Football Giants.
Whew, two.
Oh
Ugh,
yeah.
in the NFC
Oh
East.
yeah.
We balled
Oh
out here,
yeah.
folks.
Dude, you gotta let them have it. You gotta let them know. Um, Number three, I'm going with who was my third team? Where art
Got to be the
thou?
Seahawks.
It is the Seattle Seahawks. You're exactly right. I got them going 14-3, devastating.
Yeah,
And then number
they're probably
four.
actually the number 2 seed. I wouldn't be surprised based off your.
Well, you know what? When I looked at all my notes, I really have all of them 14-3 the way I
Oh, is
picked.
it?
It's a
Yeah,
coincidence, dude. I'll take screenshots so the folks, but when I just looked at it, so it's almost just a tale of the pick. You can interchange almost one of them three to be the number one seed because I don't think it's the Eagles at all. Um, and the fourth one I got just like you, put it in sharp. I got the Saints winning the South. Um, yeah, dude, that's the top four seeds, man. So Vikings, we got the Giants, then we got the Sweet Babies at number three, and then the new Sweet Babies led by Derek Carr at number four. So
mm,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
actually happy with
yeah.
that. Seahawks, Geno, y'all gonna get there. I believe in you, dude, because the rest of the West is trash. And like I said, I'm not a Purdy believer. I'm like, see, you can't fool me. Um, Everybody's talking about it. Same thing that I've been saying for years. Like, dude, well, not for years, but since last year, you got to give Trey Lance his fair shake, dude. Like I still think he's the quarterback of the future for y'all situation. You shouldn't come in. You shouldn't get too overzealous when a backup does his job. When you got arguably the best roster on the team, and anybody who's competent should be able to go in there and do the job. Trent Dilfer could have won a Super Bowl with that team, and can't
Mm,
nobody else tell me different. So it ain't a matter of talent. It ain't a matter of that. But if you want to go, you go to play with the most upside. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, and all I'm gonna say is we actually had a versus battle. You guys can check that video out in our versus battle series. And Coach Shanahan happened to go with your old boy, Mr. KC, over here and choose old Brock Purdy. Even though I do think I think Trey Lance, he should at least definitely be the backup quarterback. I can't believe they're choosing to go with Sam Darnold over Trey Lance. But
Well, they have it Sam Darnold or Trey Lance is how it's written on the depth chart
oh yeah,
with the word
yeah,
or.
because
But but my only thing is, like I said, that you can do that if you want to, but then you're gonna end up squandering your season getting behind Brock Purdy, and then you're gonna want to make the change and let Trey Lance play, who's gonna be already underwhelmed because he's like, y'all wanted to go with this dude after y'all moved heaven and earth to get me, and then y'all don't even want me to play. Like Jamarcus Russell's got to play more games. Like I think about all the backups who got the or all the busts. I mean, not backups. All these busts who got to prove they was bust, and this dude ain't even got to play. And it's like y'all trying to get rid of him.
sometimes that backup shows he can be Kirk Thuggins and not RG3. That sometimes that
Yeah,
does happen.
but that's a one off.
It is. It
Because
is.
Matt Castle couldn't do it. Anybody else you can pull out the woodwork couldn't do it.
Well, I think you're higher on Jimmy G than I am, and that would almost
Jimmy G's been
qualify
to
for
how
that.
many Super Bowls?
One.
What do you mean one? You gotta remember his backup days. What are we
Oh, I
talking
don't
about?
count. I'm not giving him
What are you
no
talking about?
backup.
He's two-time champion. He
I'm
got as
not
many
giving
rings
him
as
no.
Pat.
I man, man, don't even. No, I'm not giving it. I'm not giving it
Hey,
to him. He's got
hey,
the rings and whatnot, and he was on
and
a
he's got
Super
one of
Bowl
the
team.
highest winning percentages in the last 10 years.
Well, it's
Jimmy
easy to have
G.
a high winning percentage if you leave the game early. You
No
gotta
man.
gotta play the whole
Anyway,
game to get that
if
credit
Jimmy
for
G
me.
didn't take San Fran on that run, Brock Purdy wouldn't have looked as good as he did.
Mm, mm,
And that's ain't nothing
I
but a
don't know.
fact.
I don't know. Purdy. I mean, he had a nice 8-1 record. That was a pretty
Seven and
solid
one.
seven
Seven
and
and one.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, seven and one.
pretty
Yeah, but
solid little
when you
streak
don't
there.
play nobody good, like we talked about, and you look at the schedule, when you don't play nobody good, and you got the best roster, dude, this dude didn't light up the league. He was throwing 200-yard games. Like,
Mm.
like let's be serious.
Yeah,
Like, what are we talking
he
about?
his first game was real. He had a
Dude,
real
all of them,
solid.
like his highest game was the one he had before the playoffs,
Oh, is that
and
what it
he had
was?
barely got into 300 yards.
I thought his first game was like a 400-yard game, and then everything else
No,
was real
no.
subpar after that.
No, they just gave him praise. Talking about, oh, because he's 71, his quarterback rating was 103. Yeah, when you only play 7 games and you play the bottom of the barrel on the way to the playoffs. Like, what are we, dude? Like I said, the 49ers fans, y'all gonna be in a rude awakening. Go with Brock Purdy if you want to. That's the reason why you're gonna end up exactly what I called you out. You're gonna end up where I got you at 9-8.
9-8. Woo. Whew. I think I had them a lot higher than that, if I remember right. I think I
Yeah,
was
you got them
closer.
almost undefeated.
I
Brock
think it was
Purdy
like 13
train.
and 4 or something like that.
You
It
said
was
Purdy was
it
gonna win
was one of
MVP.
those, yeah, one of
Shoot.
those definite splits. So let's talk about these wild card spots. We got
Oh yeah.
3 holes to fill,
Hmm.
and I think I have the Cowboys, or no, excuse me, the Seahawks at 5, um, Cowboys 6, and then Giants at 7.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. Well. Okay. Okay. Well. Okay. Okay. So at number 5 here, I got the Chicago Bears.
Mm.
And at number 6, I have the Atlanta Falcons. And then at number 7, I have it's kind of a toss up. I'm honestly torn either between the Dallas Cowboys finding a way to sneak in there, or you know what? No, it's going to be the Cowboys. Yeah, it'll be Dallas. I'll give it to Dallas because I was gonna say it could be the Eagles, but no, the Eagles don't even make it to the playoffs this season. Super Bowl hangover. You pay Jalen too much money. They're gonna be chilling. They need a little rest.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned that, I think I actually had the Bears winning the NFC North.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I might have. I think I might
'Cause
have
I was
messed
just
that
about to
up.
mention. I was like, man, you didn't pick the Bears to make the offs, but I can understand why you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna have to, and that's why I wrote that Lions pick in pencil. And I think we're gonna have to
Ooh,
already
they
slide
didn't even
them
make it
out.
to the end of the segment,
They
baby.
didn't even know. They didn't. Damn it. Why does it happen
Ooh,
to me every time as a wannabe Lions fan? I'm the
told you,
fakest
man.
Lions fan that's ever existed, and I really wish I could put them there, but I think we're gonna have to slide the Bears in, and we'll
I'm
take the
trying to tell
Viking
you.
spot.
Thank you. That's all I was asking. I'm
Yeah,
like the Detroit Lions at number 3. I just couldn't believe it. The
yeah,
third seed in the NFC, the Detroit Lions.
yeah, and I think their schedule is a little rougher than I had remembered too.
Dude, they're gonna be terrible. Like I
And,
said,
and I was very hard on the Vikings for you Vikings
you
fans.
was,
I
and they're
wanted
gonna go
you.
for
If I could have found a way for you to be sub 500, I would have had it written down. And as much as I wanted to, I still couldn't find a sub 500 record for the
And
Vikings.
luckily, it was reserved for the Detroit Lions, who I said will go 7-10
Mm,
without a doubt. And that
no,
seventh win is
no.
probably too much.
I feel like that 9 number is real strong. They're going to finish right there with the Vikings. But them Bears are going to shock
What?
everybody.
He said finish with the fight. I don't know what's in Mr. KC mind, y'all, that got him thinking these Vikings have just fallen off. Like I don't see you. I don't. I'm missing the memo. I guess.
I believe it
I don't
is
see it.
called Russell 86 this week.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it. Well, that's what's got him to that point. Because if he's willing to put Detroit at number 3, I knew something was going wrong. Like, what is happening with this man?
Oh no, that's very typical of me, especially preseason to magically think that these lines are gonna somehow not be from Detroit. Shout out to the Lions and their fan base. This is the first time they've ever sold out season tickets.
Look at y'all, Jared Goff and them.
Got them
Good
hyped.
jobs. Get 7-10, baby. Hey,
Yeah, I mean Matt
go and get it.
Stafford and Megatron couldn't get these guys out here, but
Right.
magically Jared Goff.
It's a new day.
Hey, it's a new day. new day, Detroit.
Right.
Whew. So
Goodness gracious.
let's break this down. Who are we putting in the NFC Championship game?
In the NFC Championship game this year, it will feature. And you know what? It's going to be a shocker. It's going to be the New York Football Giants
Mm.
in the NFC Championship game facing the Seahawks.
Whoa, Giants Seahawks NFC Championship game. Y'all heard it
Oh,
here
yeah.
first. Woo, hoo, hoo, boy. We getting capital letter B bold here today, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. I feel very. I think we're gonna end up. I think we're gonna see a rematch. I think we're gonna see the
No.
Niners and Eagles back at it with a 49ers win.
No. That's not even bold, Mr. Casey. That's just crazy. You and
Hey,
this Brock Purdy thing. This is almost as worse as the
it-
Detroit thing.
Well, my
Goodness
problem
gracious.
is just like Trent Dilfer making Super Bowls. The 49ers are one of those squads. Or if you look at the roster A to Z, not all, the only questionable part is really that quarterback position, and I don't think it's that
The
questionable.
defense is questionable to me, and
In
I can tell you
spots,
why. Because y'all didn't play nobody for the rest of the year, and y'all look good. Y'all should be the number one or number two defense, right behind the Eagles, who also didn't play nobody all year. These numbers are fantasy because when we seen, just like what we said in both them games, when they see a real offense, i.e., the Chiefs, when the 49ers saw the Chiefs, what happened, Mr. KC? Blown out to
yeah,
smithereens. It wasn't even close. The Eagles played the first real offense they played all year in the most important game of the year. They lost the Super Bowl.
mm. I
So
mean, those are
I
two things, but
fantasy defense numbers on that end. Fantasy defense numbers.
eh, what, where do we have? Did you have the Cowboys making the playoffs? Was that? I'm
Yeah,
not
I had
sure.
them in. I had them in, but they're not making it to the conference.
Yeah, yeah, okay, we're
They're
on the
not even
same
getting to
page.
the division round.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it wasn't a first round exit with that bum
Yeah,
called
like
Dak Prescott. That
yeah.
people seem. My problem with the Cowboys is people keep putting Dak Prescott in the top 10 quarterback list, and I feel like anytime I see Dak Prescott in a top 10 quarterback list, it's because the person can't name 15 quarterbacks.
Oh, there we go. We just came back. I had a circle on mine for a second.
Oh, did you? I'm
Hmm.
sorry about that. I was hearing you just fine, so I think we're good.
Well, yeah, no, Dak Prescott, he's proven time and time again that his stock just keeps falling. He's reminding me, him and Josh Allen got something in common. That's all I can say. Your
Mm,
stock isn't rising, so it's got to be going one direction.
it's
And
not
I'm
bad.
sorry. I'm sorry, Bills fans. Like I said, dude, if y'all would have got a generational talent at quarterback, then it'd be different. Y'all need somebody who's good enough to turn the tide. Because after, like I said, Baltimore was terrible a long time before they ended up getting Joe Flacco, who was only mediocre enough, a slight twist better than Trent Dilfer to get them to a bowl, and they fell back into mediocrity until Lamar Jackson. The Bengals, their whole career is mediocrity. Who was their best quarterback? What's the dude name? Was it Phil Sims or something? Not Phil Sims, or was it Phil Sims? It was
It might have
somebody.
been.
It was
Yeah.
one of them, dude. Stop playing. Joe Burrow's the best quarterback the Bengals ever had, and it's only been this is year three. So, like I said, generational talent that's transcending what people got going on. Um, Jacksonville, another example. Like I said, you can look at these teams and tell where the talent's lying. Like I said, I'm indifferent on the Justin Herbert situation. I think he's gonna be like a top tier of the dudes who could be almost the best. I don't think he's really gonna break into that top five ever. But this is early. Things can change.
Right.
But
Absolutely. So we've got a couple interesting matchups. I've got it where it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers. You have the Giants versus the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. So let's surprise the folks. Who's making it out of those two teams?
dude, as much as I want to see them in the Super Bowl here, it's gonna be the Seattle Seahawks winning that game. We're gonna
Mm,
get old rematch of an AFC West showdown: the Seattle Seahawks versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Like I said, I can see the stories behind it, telling the tape when they were rivals. Blase, blase. Geno Smith is considered comeback player of the year, maybe twice in a row. Maybe give it to him again. I don't know. Can you give it to him twice?
you
Good
could.
night. Oh, well, give
I
it to him
mean,
twice, dude, or
I think it's going to be.
give it to the wide DJ. Give it to Metcalf. He become a player of the year. He had a lackluster year almost. even though it was okay. But if he has a monster season, dude, they're going to be stacked in Seattle. I like Seattle and Kansas City, and then Kansas City obviously is repeating. I said that before we even started.
Yeah, and you're almost man. I didn't think I liked that pick, and then all of a sudden, man, you know you've got a way of painting pictures with words, and I can almost see that Super Bowl. And
Hmm.
I promise you, unless Nick Wright watches this episode again, that
Hmm.
nobody else is gonna pick the Chiefs versus the Seahawks to be in the Super Bowl.
Right. But we gonna see. I sent them the link before we start.
Oh, you might. We only have a couple watchers right this moment,
Right.
and
Oh, right.
if you leave, I know it's you, buddy. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, for real. Because, dude, the Seahawks got as much of a chance as anybody in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. They really made the most moves. Like I said, Derek Carr makes it to the playoffs. We see them make it to the divisional round to lose to whoever on the way to there. But yeah, I think it's Seattle's to lose. Honestly, they're the sleeper.
Man,
They remind me. They're like the Ravens of the NFC, dude. Like they could be the ones. Like goodness.
oh, it makes me wish I was that bold. I wish I could jump with you. I think I'm gonna brag about it that is the show's pick, but it's not my personal one. But it is strong. It's got a lot of weight to it. Ah, man, I could actually see that happening. They've rebooted that offense.
Hmm.
Pete Carroll's one of those coaches that can
Hmm.
get a team to a Super Bowl without really much effort.
Right.
And if you really look at the
Made it to the
NFC,
playoffs in a retooling year, so to speak.
right, and I think with the NFC, there's only so many strong teams that could stand in their way. I'm a little nervous about Geno Smith being the quarterback to lead a team to a Super Bowl.
Hmm.
But I mean,
We
Jalen Hurts
remember.
is that guy. Like we know Jalen Hurts can. But
Right.
can we really say that about any other NFC quarterback? Are we pointing at them and saying you're a Super Bowl caliber quarterback
Well,
besides Jalen Hurts?
I think there's a few. Yeah.
Who's
Like I said,
that?
we'll be indifferent. I believe Kirk Cousins is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. His numbers say it. Not maybe
Oh,
not the wins, but the numbers say it for sure. As far as getting the stats and everything.
yeah.
And
I think there's just way too many primetime games in between the end of the season and the Super Bowl for Kirk Cousins to ever get to a Super Bowl.
we'll
But
see, man. I don't
right,
know. I don't know. He's got the offense, and what? He's not in the 5 year window with the core coach quarterback situation yet. What is this? Will be year two in a new system, a system that he had to learn completely last year, and they still dogged out. It can only get better, honestly, barring injury. But I got Cousins on that list here. Um, I even got Derek Carr on that list. NFC Derek Carr. I'm giving him a clean slate. NFC Derek
mm,
Carr is probably going to be a dog, dude. I just got this feeling that he's going to be a dog. And then of course Vanilla Vic. I think Vanilla Vic just got it though. I think he is a top 10 quarterback. Probably at 10, maybe and or 9. But he's done enough to scratch into the fold. He's been doing more than Josh Allen.
I mean, no,
With less talent.
no, not. It's close.
It's
It
close.
it is
Okay.
close.
I just want to feed it to you. It's close. As long as you realize that.
Yeah, I do see that it is closer and way closer than most people would give credit to. But I mean, Josh Allen has still made, the AFC Championship game. He's made it a
They got there
little
once.
farther. Yeah, he's made it a little further and just a little more often than Daniel Jones. Not saying Daniel Jones can't catch what he's done.
Hmm.
Uh,
It's not
that's
hard
an
to do.
easy. Yeah, that's easy to
Thank
catch
you.
up with
That
Daniel
that's all
Jones.
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So maybe we take some of that respect that they was giving Josh Allen, we sprinkle that on my boy Vanilla Vic, and then sprinkle a little bit of that on Geno, man. Give the light to the people who deserve it, who's actually doing more for their franchise. More integrity. These players with more integrity. I think Josh Allen is a crybaby. I've seen him throw too many fits. I've seen him kick players and pout and stuff and not even get in trouble, dude. Forget Josh Allen, man. Philip Jr. Bum.
Right. Look, I can't I can't blame you for that thinking, And I would like to point out there was someone that had left shortly after we had called them out.
All
So
right, Nick.
we'll, yeah, we'll be real curious to see if suddenly we see a Seahawks versus the Chiefs playoff prediction. Um, you know,
Oh
that's
yeah.
all I'm going to say about that. Our fans will find out one day, sooner or later, what we're referring to, but it
Right.
is some inside information that we have that we both find absolutely hilarious and lets us know we're at least on the right track here.
Right, for sure. That's all we can say about that. Oh
Yeah.
man. Let me
But
go
it
ahead
is a
and
funny
send a
one,
tweet
folks.
here.
Sorry. Hate to leave you out on the inside joke, but it is an entertaining one.
Gotta send a tweet. Make sure we gotta see what's going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's an exciting time. Like I said, it's football season. You got the first edition of the bowl prediction playoff picks. Like I said, I think most of these are 90% locked in. There's only a few things that could change, just barring injury. But I feel pretty confident about what I've picked so far. Like I said, the
Yeah.
tail of the tape will, determine things. But as of now, Chiefs, Seahawks, Super Bowl,
Yeah.
AFC old AFC West rematch.
And I guarantee you, if you check back with us and say, if we redo this week 6 to 8, somewhere in that range, I, I can guarantee we hit 100% on our playoff predictions. And I would be shocked if we weren't at least 90 on this one.
Right. I would be too. And we say that in the most humblest fashion. Like I said, we were giving it the eye test, and we haven't been too far off. Now, if reality comes with a different pill for us to swallow, and we'll do it humbly, we'll do it right here on the show. We'll eat that crow. Sure, we'll
Yeah,
eat that crow.
we've done
But
it.
I've been eating plenty of steak, and
Lots of steak.
I need a little bit more.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, and if folks don't know, I am Mr. KC from the 813, and I like seafood. So, steak and shrimp is going to be on the dinner plate after this season,
oh yeah.
especially if you check in with us and our sponsor for this episode, which is MGM Sports Bets. The description for the link will be in the description on
There it
how
is.
you too can place your bets on the MGM Sports. Use the link, sign up, get your free bets, follow us for your plays, and we will win you some money.
Win you some
We
money.
pride ourselves in it.
We
It's our
do.
favorite thing to do.
Yeah, because why not give you the same tips we're using to put a little extra money in our own pockets?
Exactly.
It's a win-win for all of us. You're gonna come back and watch. We're gonna make you more money. We're gonna make some money. Everybody making money. Isn't that the dream? Everybody making
Right.
money.
That's all we're trying to do. We place
Yeah.
our bets first so you can't mess up our odds. But
Right.
besides that, we put our money where our mouth is and we hammer them. So here we go.
And
Um,
just like the boy Crawford did, Spence. Like I said, you gotta
yeah,
sometimes you just gotta put that money down and make it, man.
yeah,
Just
and
gotta
we
do it.
and we told you to bet heavy on the Spence. And when we picked, Diaz over Paul, we did tell you to take that one lightly. Said
Right.
this isn't a
It's
guarantee,
UFC, man.
but it was the only bet that made value sense.
Right.
I can miss three of those bets and still make more than what you would have made off hitting on Jake Paul. So it allows
Exactly.
you a little leeway in that betting market. If I hit 50% on those, you're making tons and tons of money. But if you hit 70% on the Jake Paul fights, you will lose money. So just
Exactly.
keep that in mind. Now
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna drop a little spontaneous segment on Dude with a Beard. We were
Ooh.
supposed to do sports bets, but I have a trash talking segment that I need to get just out and about. We haven't done one
Oh,
in months,
good
in months.
night. Okay. That is a
But
surprise.
we're gonna have to drop it on you because that's what we do. A little extra bonus surprise at the end of
Oh,
the podcast.
oh. Okay, okay, okay. Well, where are you going with this?
Well,
Where?
well, obviously, I need to go first to give Dude with a Beard at least a moment or two to kind of group his thoughts and give him a chance of who his target might be, and
Oh,
hopefully,
I know
it's
who I
not
want to. I already know, and it's not even a famous person. I
okay.
I I got a wrestling gripe, and I don't know if any of y'all fans who watch any of the football shorts or you watch some of the wrestling shorts, but we got a wrestling show coming soon. Anybody, and especially the dudes in the comments, if you're hating on Roman Reigns' title run because he's not beating people clean, oh my God. If you don't shut up, everybody knows it's only a champion's job to make sure he doesn't lose the title. I don't
Mm,
care who comes out there. Obviously, they know they need to come out and help. That's what they're there for. You're there to ensure the champion wins. It's all a part of the story. Why would the tribal chief lose to someone who's not worthy of being the tribal chief?
mm,
Like, I just don't get it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can hate if you want to, but we are witnessing in our lifetime. We didn't see none of these other runs. We saw the Goldberg run that lasted a little while. Roman Reigns has been champion for over 1,080 days. Dude,
mm,
you have any idea how incredible that is? And to be wrestling night in and night out? Dude, stop playing. Put some respect on the tribal chief. Put some respect on the title run, because at the end of the day, the record books ain't gonna have your complaints there. It's just gonna say Roman Reigns dub SummerSlam, Roman Reigns dub
mm.
WrestleMania, Roman Reigns dub Elimination Chamber, whatever you want to call it. So you can hate if you want to and keep on hating. We'll be here to tell you sound crazy, and you won't be wasting your time this time. Fortunately, but it's the tribal chief, man. Shout out to my boy Ro Ray, the Bloodline. Shout out.
Well, I would say, you know what they say, all is fair in love and war and the WWE. So
Right.
you can't be mad. All I'm going to say, who's still got the belt? Who's
Thank you.
got the belt?
Thank
That's
you.
all you can count in
Well,
wrestling.
who got
Who's
the
got it?
belts? And then just to build on top of that, y'all hate Ro Ray so much. He was on ESPN the very next morning with Stephen A. Smith talking about who's going to be the top five teams in the NFL. And of course, he had the Chiefs at number two, only because he's biased toward the 49ers because he's from that area. So he had the Niners number one, but he knows what time it is. Kansas City at number two. Shout out to my boy Ro Ray again. Like I said, man, tribal chief.
Mm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is my little trash talk moment. And I'd like to trash talk Sean Payton. Now, Sean Payton has gone and gotten bold and said a lot of things about a lot of different players and coaches, even, which is unbelievable for a man that is questionably still in the league. You don't even belong in this NFL no more with your bounty gate. But
Man.
they suspended you, let your bum self come back for whatever reason.
Hmm.
So we'll give you the break. You done that. But let's clarify a few things.
Hmm.
Sean Payton is not no magical quarterback whisperer.
He's not
He had Drew Brees. Look what he did
Drew
with Drew Brees.
Brees.
Drew Brees, an
You mean
undeniable
look what Drew Brees
top
did with
10
Sean
quarterback.
Payton? I'm sorry, I had to throw that in.
Yeah, it's really what Drew. That's how you really should be. What Drew Brees did for Sean Payton. Sean Payton beat up on the weakest NFC South division for a decade to give him his playoff chances. Look what he did in the playoffs. How many times he's gone to the Super Bowl. Look, he won one. How many times did he even bother going? Look, he got eliminated more than the people on this American Got Talent. Okay. It is ridiculous that we're putting Sean Payton on some kind of pedestal. He's not a
Man.
quarterback whisperer. I've
Mhm.
seen someone claim that Jameis Winston was a better quarterback under Sean Payton. So you know what I do? I pull up the stats.
I'm trying to
Let's
tell you.
let's
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 crunch
see
the
any
numbers.
kind of evidence. Their point was he threw for less touchdowns or threw for less interceptions. Excuse me. The
No,
biggest knock on Jameis Winston, which was his interception rate. While he did never threw for 30 interceptions for the Saints, let's also talk about the other things he didn't throw for. In the 3 years he was with the Saints, he had less yards than any season for Tampa Bay. He had a
Mhm.
lower quarterback QBR than
Mhm.
any season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or at least any peak season.
Right.
He threw for less yards, less touchdowns, less passing attempts. You know what's hard to do is throw an interception when you don't throw the ball. Look, Jameis Winston was so improved of a quarterback, nobody ever used him again. He was out of the league. But
Right.
then let's not forget, this is the coach that we're putting on a pedestal that thought a tight end was going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You know who's going to take me to the Super Bowl? Travis Kelsey at quarterback.
Man.
You know how dumb that sounds? It sounds Sean Payton dumb. That is where we're at with the level of Broncos fans who are just waiting for their next excuse why they suck. You know why you suck? It's because your quarterback is absolutely garbage. Your whole offense is absolutely garbage. You have
Hmm.
one 1,000-yard season on that whole wide receiver core.
Mm-mm.
You don't hear this very often on this show, but fuck Sean Payton. That's all I'm going to say. You, if your kids still listening an hour in, I apologize. They shouldn't have heard that. And it's unlike us to use any foul language. And this is a family friendly show that I did not do for this segment. And I apologize. Our trash talk segments should not have any foul language. But Sean Payton, you deserved it.
You
You earned it.
deserved it. Yeah.
It's the first thing you've earned in years.
I concur. Like I said, I said that when they picked him. I said, bro, Sean Payton, like I said, his last few years in New Orleans was mediocre. I said, and you expect him to come to an even more mediocre team. The Saints are in better position than the Broncos are ever going to be in the
Mm.
foreseeable future. And you couldn't make it work down there. So I mean, I'm the Broncos suck, dude. I don't even, dude. Anyway,
It's preseason. We get hyped. It
dude,
allows us to have
bro,
faith.
the only thing that are good about Denver Broncos is that they always net me money every
Mm.
single year. I can count on this money almost like I can count on my paycheck. So that's the only
So,
thing I love about the Broncos because I know they're netting me extra money. And then
what is
not
it?
to even mention the MGM bets, the personal bets with the Broncos fans that I know, that's net cash right to my hand.
Yeah, I
Like,
was gonna say,
dude.
what do you guarantee? 200 a year? Is
Oh
that what
yeah,
we're
yeah,
looking at?
200 a year at the minimum. Yeah, 200 a
Is
year
it
at the minimum.
guaranteed?
A season,
Which is
200 a
only
season.
true unless you're an IRS agent, and then this is all fictitious and for fun.
Right, right. Those were gifts.
Gifts, yeah, because he obviously just loves giving that away.
Right.
One of these days,
Only family would
people,
just give away that kind of stuff, you know?
yeah, ooh, it is bold, folks.
It is. And like I said, dude, Sean Payton, I agree. You deserved every piece of that. Your organization is trash. Like I said, that's another one I said they need to drop the dynamite down the gullet, blow it up.
Mm.
But we'll see.
I don't even
Oh,
think blowing it up is gonna work. That's the problem.
mm,
They don't have draft picks to blow it up.
they're going to scrape mediocrity. Now they're going to see what it feels like to be on the other end of the spectrum because Denver was never absolutely good. People get caught up in these Peyton Manning days and act like Denver always been the sauce. Please, they've please stop playing, dude. Like I said, they had to give Super Bowls to Elway because he was trash, just like they had to give Peyton both his Super Bowls because they knew Eli was better. Well, anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. If they didn't catch
Right.
Peyton up to Eli, we talk about it forever. But everybody
Well,
who really watches football know Eli's the better man.
well, absolutely. I fully believe Eli was actually the better Manning. I mean, you can look at how he got two Super Bowls first against the better teams than the Broncos ever or
Man,
Peyton Manning ever beat.
dude, from the wild card spot, I mean, I came from the bottom to the Super Bowl both
Mm.
times. Like, you got, man,
And
extraordinary.
and I would say we often look at Bill Belichick and point and laugh at him for like the bounty tape and the deflate gate and stuff like that. But if we go back in history, which a lot of people seem to forget or maybe not old enough for, but when the Broncos won those Super Bowls with LA, they cheated the salary cap. They were
Exactly.
paying people under the table
Under the table.
and lost draft picks for it. But history doesn't seem to bring that up very often.
They don't talk about that. They don't want to
Can't
talk
talk
about
about
it.
that one.
It's forgotten. It's because this one's for John. That's why. The headline,
Exactly.
I would say the headline, the headline outweighs the truth in that situation.
Because
Because
he
you
was
are, you,
looking,
no, go
yeah,
ahead. You said he was looking what?
very Dan Marino esque for the most of his career.
Thank you. Not even as good though. Marino
No,
actually, if you should have gave anybody a fucking, excuse me, if you should have gave anybody a Super Bowl, it should have been Dan Marino. You should have
yeah,
gave him one. If you were giving them away at that point, just like you did for Elway, should have gave throw Marino a bone. Like, are you kidding me? At least he had undeniable talent. So anyway,
the horse face was he had a little talent, not a lot,
yeah,
but he was pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
He was okay.
Thank
He
you.
was serviceable.
Yeah, he was serviceable. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Trent Dilfer. There, you
yeah,
serviceable guy.
right.
You get it done. I ain't never heard of nobody wake up and say, "Hey, boy, if I got to draft a quarterback, give me John Elway."
Mm,
I've never heard nobody say that. What are
ooh,
we talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Give me Terry Bradshaw before I go and get John Elway. I'll take a sleuth full of guys before I take Elway.
right. And
God,
I would say, folks, we're gonna pass around the collections plate, and if you can't afford to give, just sign up for MGM Sports Bets with the description and the link, and it's a way of giving back to us without even giving us a single penny out of your pocket. So
man,
don't be afraid to sign up. Make you a couple dollars on this year's playoff predictions. We were supposed to do sports bets for the futures, but it looks like we're going to have to save that for next week's episode and tell you guys how to make money on our least favorite kind of bets. I'm not a big fan of placing a bet that's not going to pay out for months in advance, but if that is your pickle,
but right.
we'll give you
Because
the
there's a
deal.
few over unders that you might want to get in on now before odds change. I will say
Yeah,
that as far as
there is a
picking
couple.
teams for a season. So, like I said, just walk with us. We'll guide you. We'll talk about the teams that we're most confident in these over and under situations that could net you some good money. Because there's a few of them that are on the bubble that we've even talked about just going through the schedule that we can see. So we'll talk about that here soon enough. I'm that dude with the beard. He's Mr. KC from the A13, and we thank y'all who watched live. Shout out to you, Nick Wright, Fox Sports, because we know you was there. Anybody else? I'm missing MGM. Everybody, thank y'all. 600 subscribers now. We're still growing. Like, it's amazing.
Six.
All these people coming out of nowhere in different parts of the country too. Shout out to our Atlanta fans, a few Pittsburgh fans, fans out in Boston. Uh, I said everybody, cause y'all know me. If I mess with your town, I mess with you, man. That's all it is. That's what we gonna do. Uh, Down with Detroit again, third seed. Funniest take of the
Almost.
night. Funniest take
Almost.
of the night. I'll
It's
never
close.
forget it. I'll never forget it. They didn't even make the end of the segment, y'all. Anyway, Mr. Casey, it's a pleasure, brother. Till next time. Good
Till
night.